how you saw the Looney thing. How do you hope the fans greet him tonight?
Oh, I don't have to hope. I know exactly how they will react. Everything Loon meant to us, for was he here 10 years? Yeah, our fans are well aware of the impact he made on and off the court, and he's been a fan favorite for a long time, so he's going to get an amazing reception tonight. I'm really looking forward to it.
Are you expecting J.K. to return tonight?
He's going to warm up right now, and I'll get a word after his warm up. So I just texted Drew Yoder, and he said we'll wait to determine that.
Steve, Looney was such an unselfish guy. Whatever you needed, it seemed he did. Whether he didn't play a night, had few minutes, or, was a starter. And also just the rebounding that he did with heart and energy. I mean, is he sort of a unique player who did anything for you that way?
Yeah, Loon, didn't really fit the prototype of the modern, center. He's not really a stretch shooter, doesn't have, great size in terms of his height. He had really long arms, so he played bigger, than he is. But the offensive rebounding, and you're seeing the kind of the trend around the league. Saw it with Houston the other night, Portland, just crash. I think Loon gave so much of that to us, the offensive boards, the extra possessions, and it might have gone maybe less noticed, 5-6 years ago when he was doing all of that than it would be now. But we recognized it, and we miss some of that now for sure. But goes way beyond the court stuff. It's just his locker room presence, his maturity, the way he generated professional atmosphere with the whole group. Just a remarkable teammate.
When you look back, he played nearly 300 straight games. Is that incredible when you think back on what he was able to do?
He took great pride in being there every night, which fit. It was a great metaphor for kind of who he is as a human being. He's always there for you. One of the hardest nights for me in my 12 years coaching was the night I broke the streak. The streak did not end because of his health. The streak ended because I felt like we needed to play Trace more. And, I knew that just playing him for the sake of the streak was not the right thing to do. And then, of course, like a week later, he was back in the rotation. And but that was a really hard thing to do, to end that streak. But, Loon is a professional. He understands the business, and I'm thrilled for him that he got a good contract in New Orleans. But, yeah, there's no question we miss having him here.
You're about to go, however many games without Steph. Y'all's offensive numbers when he's been off the floor this year have not been good. How much do you have to look at the strategy of how you're, attacking defenses without Steph, and change it right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think in some ways it's a good opportunity for us to kind of forge an identity. We were pretty good without Steph last year for the most part. We hung in there and scored well enough to win games. I don't know the number offhand. What were we, 7-5 or something without Steph last year? Does that sound about right? But this year, obviously, we're not playing as well offensively with him or without him, but especially without him. So to me, we got to play fast. We've got to get stops. We've got to play off our defense. And we've got to get, some easy points in there, whether it's through transition off of getting steals, pace, slips to the rim. Just feels like we're not getting a whole lot of easy points right now. And with Steph out, you're almost forced to give guys more opportunity, look at different combinations, be more aggressive, try more things. So we'll see how all that goes, but that's the plan this next week.
Particularly, there's always the I guess debate of like, the movement stuff, or do you go a little bit more deliberate, more isolation, especially, when Jimmy's out there. How do you view that, I guess, dynamic in the next couple weeks?
Well, we found that balance last year. The rhythm of and the flow of Steph and Draymond and their two-man actions combined with the isolation of Jimmy, and we found a really good groove. We have not found that this year. I think the biggest thing is our turnovers. We're turning it over 3 more times a game. And you think of all these games that we've lost by 1 or 2 possessions. To me, that's the bottom line, and the numbers bear it out. I've repeated those numbers to you guys almost daily, but I have to look in the mirror and ask myself, why are we turning it over more? And when I watch tape, I get back to 2 things. On the player side, it's the decision making. On my side, it's the rhythm and the flow of the stuff that we're running. And so there needs to be improvement on both counts, and that's how this always works. It's a collaboration, and we win and lose together. And I've got to find ways to give these guys a better picture so that the decision making is easier for them.
It seems like there's somewhat of a disconnect between what players after losses view as the issue. Jimmy, Draymond, they'll say our defense stinks, we're not stopping anyone. And the numbers, you're 22nd in offensive rating, 10th or 9th in defense. What do you view as like the bigger issue right now? Defense?
Turnovers. Yes. I appreciate the fact that Jimmy and Draymond are calling for better defense, because you always should rely on your defense when you struggle. You should always turn back to that and get stops. I think one of the things that's happening, though, is the whole league is better offensively. So playing good defense today might not feel quite the same as it did 6 years ago. Over the last 10 games, we're second in the league in defensive efficiency. So, yes, Shepard got free a few times late the other night. Didn't feel like we were playing great defense, and we weren't. We only had like 8 or 9 deflections the other night. Like, we didn't make them feel us. But I have zero doubt that the number one thing that's keeping us from consistently winning is our turnovers. Zero doubt. The numbers show it. The tape shows it. It's not a disconnect. We need to do both. We need to play better defense. We need to generate more turnovers, which we did really well last year at the end of the season. We're not doing as well right now. But if it's one thing that's keeping us from winning more games, it's the turnovers. Make no mistake.